Hello everyone. Today I would like to resume talking about hate on episodes. This one's about Chocolate Boy. The episode starts with Chocolate Boy licking a wrapper from a chocolate bar which amuses Wolfgang and his friend Edmund. They made him act like a fool for a chocolate bar. Then Edmund told Wolfgang a great idea of making Chocolate Boy go 2 weeks without chocolate as a bet, and if Chocolate Boy succeeds, they will get him 10-pound candy bag worth of chocolate. They made their weasel friend Mickey keep watch of Chocolate Boy throughout the 2 weeks to make sure that Chocolate Boy keeps to the bed as Chocolate Boy repeatedly tries to eat whatever chocolate he can get his hands on, only for Mickey to constantly show up as a reminder to not do it. Not needing this problem anymore, Chocolate Boy went to Arnold to ask him to help him to cure himself of his addiction to chocolate since he is well aware of Arnold's reputation of fixing other people's problems. Arnold discussed it with Gerald, who brought up every feat that Arnold had managed to accomplish, but he believes that curing Chocolate Boy addiction is impossible. The montage begins, and we see what happens when people go through their time without their substance, acting crazy and want to do anything else to alleviate not having the very thing that makes them feel. The 2 weeks have passed, and Arnold is deeply disappointed that Chocolate Boy had used him just to win a bet. Arnold should at least have asked Chocolate Boy the significance of the 2 weeks so he would not have wasted his time. We see Chocolate Boy eating that entire 10-pound bag of chocolate in under a day. Wolfgang might have called him pathetic but for doing so, but he is not completely wrong because that is just crazy to blow through that amount that quickly. However, what insane is the fifth graders throwing chocolate balls at Chocolate Boy and he danced like a clown for them. The realization begins to hit Chocolate Boy as he watches the mocking and laughter from the fifth graders were giving him, which proved to be too much for him to handle. Once he made it to a dumpster and looked at himself in the mirror, Chocolate Boy was sad and disgusted with himself. He went back to Arnold, who was compelled to help him after Chocolate Boy miserably declared himself a chocolate clown for what he's willing to do to get the next chocolate. So after Arnold comically asked him, did he make another bet, then he began helping Chocolate Boy to truly end his addiction for chocolate. Arnold then showed Chocolate Boy the kind of stuff that schools been trying to for years to make sure that students don't mess up their own lives. In Chocolate Boy's case, what eating too much chocolate would do to him. Rotting his teeth is one thing to expect, like eating all types of candy at once. Since this is a battle with substance episode, Chocolate Boy is also getting the concept that he desperately wants chocolate. He might pull a criminal act that will put him in prison. That didn't work for his addiction. Then they try a sauna treatment to remove chocolate like Chocolate Boy is purifying himself. Arnold then started giving Chocolate Boy some healthy food choices as substitutes for chocolate. After being failed attempts for giving him an allergic reaction to being just plain bad, Chocolate Boy settled on a bowl of radishes. Arnold's final trip was hypnotizing Chocolate Boy to get to the main root of his problem with chocolate. It turns out him eating chocolate was something his nanny had been giving him despite his parents not wanting him to eat chocolate at all. Chocolate Boy loved his nanny, and the day she left to move to Delaware, Chocolate Boy ate the one item that she left for him as a coping mechanism for how much he misses her to remind him of their special bond. Chocolate Boy breaks down and hugs Arnold, expressing how much he misses his nanny. Arnold, of course, tells him that it's okay that he feels this way, but it also had to remind him that eating chocolate the way he'd been doing is not a good way to honor her, as she would be disappointed in him if she ever saw what he's willing to do to get it. Chocolate Boy is finally free from his addiction to chocolate as he now squares it off, and he declares proudly that no more chocolate. The episode ends with everybody being surprised that Chocolate Boy is no longer eating chocolate. Unfortunately, Chocolate Boy may have replaced one addiction for another, no matter how healthy that other addiction is, as he loves eating radishes from now on. My final thoughts on the episode is that I would hate to be using substances that makes me go insane to keep feeling that thrill. I'm glad that I've never done drugs before, as I've seen enough to know I would hate to be dependent on something for so long that even a minute without it would make me go crazy. I've seen many shows that hits on eating our favorite food in moderation if we ignore the substance abuse. At least in one show, it's not about eating so much that now we must make the character quit completely, but we are learning to appreciate things in moderation where you don't have to eat so much of something as eventually you will grow sick of it. It takes a month at most for me to get that desire to eat one of my favorite food choices again after doing it for so long. When Arnold had held Chocolate Boy with the seminar, it reminds me of the stuff adults be trying to encourage students to make them stop doing things American Dad had one of the best ways to stopping substance abuse when it plays on a teenager's ego of who they can end up with while under the influence. Chocolate Boy is a good kid, and it's unfortunate that he lost someone that he loves, and eating chocolate was just to fill that void that was left behind when she left him. There are plenty of reasons for anyone to turn to substances, but it's never good no matter what tragedy befalls them, as they will suffer the consequences once they now become dependent on it, because now their body and mind are too used to it to quit. That is all I would like to say, folks. Please like and subscribe to the channel.